guys. Let's have the 33 help brother out. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, and this is Ohio Offroad. So we're back on this project again, which is the never-ending TJ project. I have to make a cross-member transmission mount for that guy back there. So we're gonna do that today. Let me show you what plans are. All right, you can see where those bolts are. That is where it mounts up to. So we're gonna have to build a plate somewhere in there. And then we're gonna take a piece of tube and just go loop, loop, and over there. And then we're gonna probably have to build a stand off of that so it fits, because we have issues on this side. So at first, I was thinking I'd just go do a straight tube and go from that mount all the way to the frame, just nice and straight. But the problem is, when I run a straight tube, it gets in the way of the output, and we kind of need that. So we have to do some engineering to make sure it clears. So like I said, I think I'm gonna make a nice loop, probably to somewhat copy this angle on that cross member. And I'll probably kick it back a little ways this way. That way, we can probably go underneath this output right there, and then build some triangle sections and build a stand to attach up to there. So there's nothing to it but to do it. This is one of those ones where I have been overthinking it, and I'm really good at that. I usually overthink, and once I start to overthink, I just shut down and nothing happens. So we're gonna work. So let's do it. All right, so first thing first, I wanna take a couple measurements, because we need to know measurements before we start bending to it. All right, so we are at 33 3/4 for the whole frame width. Zero this guy out. It's just a little angle finder. Yeah. If I want to copy this guy, that puts us roughly 10 degrees. So if I say, hey, you know, if I want to go 10 degrees there, and drop it down a bit, it's definitely not going to get in the way of that, this cross member, and I kind of like that. So if I do a 10-degree bend there, and then let's come over here to make sure it's okay on that side. It looks like it's gonna clear. So we're gonna bend them at 10 degrees. So, all right, so I did buy these bushing kits from Barnes 4-wheel drive. I think that's who it was. With Barnes 4-wheel drive, they measure out to side to side 1.25 inches. So when I go through, take my measurements. So what I need to do is get a piece of tube that is total length with the bend in it at 28 5/8. All right, I just figured out how long of a piece I need to cut. We are gonna cut a 33-inch piece. That should give me a couple inches on each side after the bends where I can trim it down to get it fit right. But especially, this is one of my first ever bends, so I don't really want to screw it up. But yeah, I'm a nerd. So we're gonna get that all cut, all right there. I'm just using 1 3/4 DOM 120 wall. I was gonna use 1.5 quarter wall, but that seems like it's might be a little bit heavy. And I like the 1 1/4 just because it'll give me some more welding surface on this 2-inch piece of DOM. So let's get to cutting. All right, just need 33 inches. All right, got my piece of tube. I'm gonna build this from the middle out. So that means I gotta mark half of 33, which will be guys. What's half of 33? Help brother out. Yeah, 16 and a half. 16 and a half. All right. Now from center line, I want to go ahead and measure 6 inches, 6 and 13/16. So that's where I'm going to start my bend on that side. And then from this side, we're going to go 6 and 13/16 again. And that's where I'm going to start my bend on this side. That's going to be where it sits on the die. All right, I think I got everything in there where I want to bend, and I changed my measurements. Instead of doing 10 degrees, we're going to do 20. It'll make it drop down a little bit lower. Should make it a little bit better. At least I hope. But let's go put it in a bender and see if this works. Oh, see, already screwed up. I need to bring this side over and bend it. All right, got it set. Now we just got to bend. All right, got everything set up. Zeroed out this side, so it shouldn't be wonky like this. So hopefully we get a nice, true, straight bend. So we're about to find out. All right, that's our tube. All right, tube looks pretty good. Let's make sure it will work. Yeah, we got room enough for that 2-inch bushing, and we can move it kind of all over. Somewhere over there probably would be best bet. And it looks like it'll work. It's gonna clear the drive shaft. So if I put it right there, right below that yoke, right below this yoke, it should be perfect, and then it won't even interfere with the belly being any lower or anything. So I'm happy with my first ever bend. Okay, so my next step is I have to make this plate. So it's time to make that plate. Gonna take this measurement. I do have to figure out, maybe this might stick out like an inch or so, ½ inch. We'll go an inch. So I'll be an inch off of that. And then I want to use this full length all the way to there. And then we'll make our plate. So I've got to measure here to there and then across. All right. I got my drawing marked out. So now I'm just going to take a piece of 1/4 inch steel and get it all marked up and cut it out. And then we got to drill these holes too. 4 square. I'll get this cut out, this guy, and then we're marking for the holes to be drilled. So let's get some cutting. Alright, got the plate all cut out. Now I'm just going to mark our drill holes on it. And mark and drill, and then test fit. Alright guys, got everything drilled and marked out. This should be our plate for the mount. So I'm going to put it on the transfer case or transmission. Make sure it fits. If not, I'm going to have to open up these holes just a little bit. Just give me some extra clearance. But let's go see. Alright guys, so the plate fits. So what I'm going to do now is get our bar in position to run across. And then I'm going to have to get that in position, and then we're going to have to build brackets down to that bar, to up here. All right, so we got that plate all down there and figured out. The next problem is these bushings. So as everything is kind of like a DIY for this stuff. The problem is this frame right here, right there straight, and then it comes in at 10 degrees. And these are meant for 90. So if I go ahead and put them out in there, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but they kick back at 10 degrees. And I don't want that to happen. I want them to come off straight. So this measurements, I gotta cut roughly 3/8 off of these. And then they should get me that 10 degrees kickback on this so that the bar runs perfectly straight. Now this is another one where like I can notch that tube, but I'd just rather have it straight. So let's cut off a little bit of this and see how it looks after. All right, when it's like these kind of cuts that are dealing with like an eighth of an inch, if not less, I always like using a flywheel or the death wheel. It's because I have a little bit more control over it. So. All right, cut. All right, now I'm just building it. Putting the bolt back through, went all the way down with it. And now it looks a lot better. So our angle is about 9 degrees. So I think that's pretty dang close for what we're dealing with. 1 degree is gonna make that much of a difference on this. So it is 9 degrees. And like, I can't go much lower. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, I can't go much lower because if I do, it will start to eat into the bushing. So 9 degrees is the best we can do. All right, well, I put the camera away for a little bit because I'm bad at YouTube. But we got some stuff done. I ended up getting the bar in there. You can see, I'll turn you guys around. All right, so the bar is in there. It's all notched. Probably not the best notches. This is the first time I ever tried to notch anything. I definitely think I'm gonna go get a notcher because that kind of sucked. I knew where it needed to be, but with doing it with a grinder, it wasn't the best. But you can see we got the 10 degrees off of that, cut that piece down, tacked it all in there. Did the same thing on that side. That way we can run that bar straight without an issue. And since it's late, I'm not gonna do this part yet, but all I have to do is come with a plate, run a plate from here to there, and then a couple triangles off of that down to the tube, and that thing will be handled. So we'll see, I might do that tomorrow, depending how I feel after work. But it's a school night and it's about 9 o'clock. School night, work night, you guys know. It's 9 o'clock, so I'm gonna go take a shower and do everything else, hopefully tomorrow, and then we can have that whole thing complete.
Are you gonna show me my PJs?
Yeah, she didn't help at all. Well, she held the one thing and then she held it crooked.
I wasn't home. I got home at 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yep, but tomorrow we'll finish that thing up, or get some more of it done at least. I could probably do a full weld around it and start building the stuff, but I like the way it sits. All right, just like that's the next day for you guys. Just got off work. It's like 5:30, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get done, but I do want to finish that transmission mount cross member, and I'm pretty much all the hard stuff's done, let's put it that way. So all I have to do is build a stand off of the tube. So we'll show you. Piece here, piece down there, and a piece on the other side. And then this side I'll leave open so I can get to those little guys. But just need to take some measurements and get to cutting. All right, y'all, took some measurements. Luckily, that distance from the top of the transmission to the bar is exactly 4 inches. And it's on a round, so it kind of varies. But 4 inches will work. So I have this piece of strap, and it measures 4 inches. So I already marked this up with my measurements over there. And I'm just gonna get this cut out, place it over there on that tube, and hopefully it works. If not, we'll have a revision too. All right, got the initial plate made. We'll go see if it fits. Let's go. Ooh, still hot, still a little warm. Oh boy. All right, so let's see. So, if I did this right, it should fit just like that. So it kicks it back, then it comes down and I weld it. All right, so real quick update. I took about 1/4 inch off the bottom and ended up just tacking it. And you can see we got a pretty nice gap now. So shouldn't have an issue. Now we just have to build these plates. So for these plates, I am going to use CAD. So get these all marked up, fitting in there nice. I'd like to make it, you know, run all the way down there like that, and even have like this half circle on the back side of it. So complex shapes, always go to the CAD. All right, I think this is the template I want. I'll show you. All right, so I take my beautiful piece of cardboard and just kind of mount it right up on there. And it kind of works pretty well. This corner down there, I'll actually put in the radius, but I do know that right down at the very bottom, that will be my stop. So I can radius off of that at whatever 1.5 inch DOM would be. So radius, I'm gonna see if it fits on the other side, and we're gonna cut 2 pieces. All right, I'm sure it's kind of hard to see just because there's not much room on this side, but the template works for this side too. So we're gonna cut 2, get them marked up. All right, y'all, got everything marked up. Hopefully you see it. But how I found this radius is I just took my cheater tube and just kind of set it right on top of there. So same diameter. It should work, but time to cut. All right, one piece done. Do a real quick test fit. Yeah, it's not even that hot, so we're good. Not burning myself. And would you look at that? Fits pretty well. It'll go back a little bit to make it a little bit more snug on that tube, but that's gonna be it. So I just gotta make it an exact replica and weld it in. All right, so I got both these pieces cut. They look pretty good. I was over here just test fitting them. It's so hard to do this with holding my camera hand and my good hand is both my right hands. All right, let's see. So if I keep it like that, it fits pretty well. I was really hoping to get more of a gap over here. And if I do that, I think if I do it right there, I can weld that gap. So that should be pretty good right there. And then it fits on the other side. So all I have to do is do a little bit of welding, tack this stuff together, do some bigger welds and bigger tacks, and then permanently weld it. All right, guys, so we just did some more on that cross member. Ashley was able to come out. This is the next day. And we did a complete weld on the cross member, and we now have a roller. So let me show you that. So it's welded all the way in. It is supported by its own weight. And the whole Jeep is now supported on its own weight for now, but everything looks really good. So that we were able to make it a roller, we just took some scrap pipe, welded it on the frame for now, and just set it on the axles. So we did that on all 3 corners. We didn't need to do it on this corner because it's already resting on the pumpkin, so we don't need to really worry about it. But it's a roller. And now we just pulled this bad boy out from the back of the shop, and we're gonna be starting on this in the next video. At least I hope. All right, but that's it. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, all the other fun YouTube stuff. And hope to see you guys on the trail one day. Adios.